Hey, it's Brad Johnson from johnson.audio. I'm here to talk with you about how to write a good song. First of all, what this is not is a tutorial on melodies. It's not a tutorial on structure or any really the technical aspects of how to write songs. I feel like a lot of times when you look into either Google or stuff and you're looking at how to write a good song, it's always like, well, first you start with the verse where you set up and the chorus is your main message, and all that stuff is really great and all, but I feel like it's really kind of, you're at like step 4 at that point when really there's stuff before it that you need to be focusing on to really set the groundwork for what would be considered a good song. I think it's worth noting that songs are subjective, so there's not really going to be what might be a good song to you is going to be a horrible song to somebody else. Somebody else is telling you a good song may not resonate with you, and that's totally fine. I think the definition for a good song here is one that you are proud of showing to somebody else. I think that when music is a gift, the idea is to communicate emotion, and if we're just writing for ourselves, then what's the point? So really the idea of a good song is one that you feel proud of to then perform or record and share with the people around you so they can come into the experience that you created. So I really believe that there's 2 things to writing a good song that we need to look into. And the very first thing is to write. Make it a habit every day to just get a journal, just free form write. Don't edit yourself. Just don't even think about it. Just kind of stream of consciousness, just bam, write stuff out. And get into the habit of exercising that muscle and getting a journal full of just words. That will be a place that you can go to time and time again to source lyrics when you are feeling writer's block. Little caveat, writer's block I don't believe really exists. I think that inspiration strikes when you are already in the moment. It's not waiting for the moment of inspiration then to go to work. So you just have to write. It could be a page a day, 2 pages, 3 pages, whatever works for you, how much time you can give. It's definitely a really good habit to get into. I think it was Jerry Seinfeld that said, if I can write and keep 2% of what I write, I know I can be successful. And that's with him writing every day. I mean, I don't know if he actually said that. Somebody told me that once. It could be a total lie, but I think that the wisdom is in the idea that you're going to write a bunch of stuff that's not very good, but in that you're going to find your golden nuggets. So I also want to say, with writing every day, sometimes it's a seasonal thing. For me, at least, I know that I don't write every single day, but there's times when I am writing every day constantly. I did a good 6 to 7 months every day writing. And, like I said, I'll always have those notebooks to pull from. And so, don't beat yourself up if you start getting in the rhythm and you fall out of it. Songwriting is a lifelong process. It is totally fine to get out of rhythm. We have life happen. So, extend grace to yourself if you struggle with that. So step 1, write. Be writing. Do not edit yourself. Step number 2, which is very, very important, is to know your story. You have to know yourself. We don't need a world of songwriters who are just writing mindless, fluffy kind of stuff. There's a place for it, but I feel like if you want to write a song, you have something that you want to share to the world, and you can only share what you have and what you know. And so you have to dive into your story. You have to write from that place of authenticity. So whether it be a song about joy, a song about pain, a song about, how it felt to see your first child or whatever it is, all those emotions, you have to experience those things, and you have to write from that place of experience. It's not necessarily the easiest thing sometimes to dive back into our past and to look at everything that's happened to us and to revisit it, especially if we're looking for maybe a place to write from. But as a songwriter, we are really people who keep our emotions on our sleeves. We are creating a space for people to enter into to where they can feel heard, where they can feel empathized with, where they know that somebody else gets them. And that is what a good song is, when it connects and makes that connection. And so the only way you're going to do that is by understanding those emotions yourself and then writing lyrics from that place of your own story. It's very, very important. I can't stress it enough. I feel like there's a huge need for more of that and just that radical honesty. And so I know that it's hard to definitely dive back into your story and look at those places where maybe something changed or pivoted, and for the worse or even for the better, whatever it is. But that's going to be your greatest asset in writing. It's going to be your greatest asset in connecting with other people and people feeling like you have something to give. People are hurting and they just want something to know that they're not alone. And that's the beauty of songwriting. That's why we all want to do it. It's why we all want to have these feelings of writing. It's to just feel like we can connect in that way, because, if you're like me, music's been my greatest teacher. Music's been the thing that has been with me in my greatest moments and my worst moments. And, a good song, when you just hear it, it's just, you take it with you. Every time when you hear it, even 10 years later, it just transports you back to that moment when you were transformed by it. And I feel like that is the goal. And you're never going to be able to reach that point unless if you know your own story, if you know who you are and what it is that you have to offer. Now, I do want to bring up a little bit of a side note here, that you may be thinking, well, I'm like, you might be like, I'm 18 years old and all I've done is, I've done the normal thing. I have nothing. I don't have a story yet. And that is so not true. We all have a unique story. Our stories are very similar, but they're all unique. And if you're having a tough time looking at stuff that's happened to you, I would encourage you, think about the first time when you realized there wasn't something right with the world. We all have that moment where we feel like we come from this place of innocence and then innocence lost. And I think there's a huge turning point that happens in that part of our lives where we start to experience, things that, maybe are negative, but then I think with that, you start to see things that are beautiful within that as well. So, in a later video, we can dive deeper into that kind of story and looking into it and maybe probe into it, and you can get to a little bit more about my story. But right now, I just want to focus on the good song part. And a good song, you need to have a good story. And so I think that if you were to focus on just writing all the time, so you have a database of words to pull from, and you're just exercising that muscle and you're just getting it out there. And then also just really looking into your own story and learning how to just be vulnerable and just be courageous in that vulnerability. You're starting to lay the groundworks for that good song, where all the other technique and stuff you can start to add and really start to see that song come into fruition. And I plan on helping you with all of it. Just stay tuned with the rest of these videos, and we're going to go through other songwriting techniques. We can go through structures. I even want to get into talking about how to record your own material and how to do it on a budget, but do it well to where you feel like, yes, I want people to hear this and you're proud. Ultimately, as songwriters, we are our worst enemies. We will write, and we finish it, we bury it. I am so guilty of this myself. And I don't want you to go through this. I want you to be able to write, release, and just start changing your world and the world of people around you, and just giving them that material to where they just feel like you're just connecting. And I know you can do it. I'm still trying to do it. This is just a journey. I am been a songwriter my entire life, but I am still actively pursuing on how to become better. And I know I have a long way to go. I appreciate you taking your time to sit here with me and listen to me talk about I feel like just diving into the mud and just really getting into the thick of the heart of a good song. And I hope you got something from this. I hope you're inspired. Let me know in the comments below if you got anything out of this, if there's anything you'd like me to elaborate on. I'd love to hear from you. So great to spend this time. I hope you have a great day or great night or wherever you are, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.